Good evening. My name is Lou Magazoo, and I have the honor to be the director of the Cumberland County Board of Chosen Freeholders. This evening, I'm joined with my running mates. We are all running together. We're happy to say that we have the support of the Cumberland County Democratic Organization, but now we're looking for the support of all the residents of Cumberland County. And I'm joined tonight by, first of all, Freeholder Nelson Thompson, who we're going to hear about from in a minute, Lauren Van Emden, who's running for clerk, and Wade Shogren, who's also running for freeholder. I'm very pleased to have the quality of these running mates, and you're going to hear tonight in a little more personal way about their backgrounds and their history and why they're running for office in Cumberland County. These are extraordinarily challenging times, but we have, in this county, met the challenge because year in and year out we've picked great candidates, and you, the voters, have ratified our decisions because you have then supported those candidates. Last year, we had Doug Rainier and Bob Austino, who were elected surrogate and sheriff, and we had Bill Whalen and Jane Janarone and Jim Duncans, who are all elected for freeholder. We were very gratified that the entire team won. We think that was partly because of the quality of the candidates and partly because of the effort that we put forth, but mostly because you, the voters, made intelligent decisions and supported those folks, and we're hopeful that you'll do the same thing with us. But tonight you're going to get to know a little bit more about us individually, and the first person we're going to talk to, and we're going to talk a little bit about our backgrounds and our family and our history, and then what we would like to do for the county. But I'd like to hear from my friend Nelson Thompson, who has been really hit the ground running as a freeholder. He was appointed when Doug Rainier became surrogate and there was a vacancy, and has really done a terrific job on the freeholder board, working extraordinarily hard. Nelson, welcome aboard, and why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about your background, certainly your family and your background, your roots in Cumberland County.
Well, thank you, Director. First of all, I just want to let you know what a pleasure it's been to serve this year. I've certainly learned a lot and looked through our little book years ago when I first got involved with politics, and I looked at the county directory just to see exactly how many committees that we serve on, and commissions and boards, and it's very exciting. Certainly learned a whole lot, and have enjoyed meeting so many people who believe in the same things that I believe in. To talk about my background and where I come from, my family came here to Millville, and before I was born, my folks lived in Millville on South 2nd Street since 1959. My mother still lives there. I have 5 sisters and 2 brothers, and from a blue-collar family. My father worked at Millville Airport in the maintenance crew with the city commission, took care of the airport, and I can remember as a child my father taking me out every once in a while, and he made friends very easily. And there was a lot of people out there that really loved children, and I had my first opportunity to ride in an airplane, I remember, when my father worked at the airport. I stayed here. I went to all the Millville schools. I remember going to Bacon School, Culver Censor. Of course, Censor's not here anymore. They tore it down, but that was a great school. I remember my first grade teacher, Miss Ware, who told me someday you're going to be something. I don't know just what, but someday you're going to be something, she said to me. But I really loved the community. I went to Millville Junior High, Millville Senior High, and on from there, I didn't go to college probably till I was 30 years old. Came back to this area after going to college in Maryland for a short period of time, and took up roots with. I wanted to get involved in a career, and got married. I have 4 sons. 4 great sons. One's 27, one's 19, one's 10, and one's 7. So I think I'm in touch with just about every generation. I love every one of them dearly. I now have a granddaughter, a 1-year-old, who, Ariana Faith, is a gorgeous little girl, and I'm going to spoil her rotten every chance I get. Unfortunately, I wish I had a lot more time to spend with family, but as you know, as a freeholder, we take an oath, and the people of Cumberland County have become our family as well. So that's what inspired me, was my 5 sisters and 2 brothers, big family, my 4 children, and I wanted to see them have a future as I did, coming from meager means, and I was able to seek a career early on, and I get involved in the business that I'm in now.
Now, Nelson, I've always, since I've known you, and I've known you for a long time as a hard worker, but I have one question. You were born and raised in Millville, and now you live in Vineland. What are you doing Thanksgiving? What team do you root for? That's my question.
Well, I'll say this. I'm still Millville at heart. I'll always be a Millville guy. I live in Vineland, and I'm going to tell you the story why I went to Vineland. Everybody knows sometimes you get a good deal on a house, and I happen to run into a great deal in a great neighborhood, which is very close to Millville. So I kind of, sometimes I wear their colors, sometimes I wear the
There
Millville
you go.
colors, but it's hard to decide. It really is sometimes. I just love going to the games.
Now, Lauren Van Emden, you also have kind of like feet in both communities.
I do.
Why don't we talk a little bit about your background and your family and what you're doing these days?
Sure. Well, I hail from Millville originally, and that's where my family had set up roots. And about the age of the time that you would enter high school, I moved to Vineland. So I spent my high school years in Vineland territory, but going to Sacred Heart. So I was neutral when it came to the football game. But as far as my family is concerned, I come from I'm a third generation Cumberland County resident, and my grandfather brought the family here, Paul Van Emden, back in the 50s when he, or maybe even the 40s when he moved from England. So set up roots here, became an attorney, and spent most of his career practicing in Vineland, even though he was a Millville resident. So the Van Emdens tend to cross over every now and again. And my father and mother live in Vineland now too. So.
And you practice law with your dad. We'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit. But and you went to school, went to Sacred Heart. Where did you go for college?
I ended up at Lehigh University, which is in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and then there I studied business, a rounded business management degree with a focus on organizational behavior. And I did a lot of theater on the side and music, and I got to travel the world with the choir, which was a great fun for me, but also great experience being exposed to other areas in the world.
And we'll talk a little bit about your theater interest because it's continued. Now, Wade, you have your feet planted firmly in the western part of Cumberland County.
Sure do.
Is that right?
That's right.
I, of course, know that you're a terrific businessman and have served with the Empowerment Zone and also, obviously, in your business. But why don't you tell the viewers a little bit more about yourself and your family and your background?
Sure, absolutely. I was born in Albany, New York, and actually grew up in Verona, New Jersey, up in Essex County. My first experience in Cumberland County was when I was 12 years old, and my father said, "You want to go hunting?" So we came down to Dividing Creek.
Not bad.
We went out and we got a beautiful buck, and it's actually hung up still in my office. Very proud of that experience. Growing up in North Jersey, you would bring home the great peaches that are grown down here and bring home crabs and all that. So early on in life, I was exposed to Cumberland County, made trips with them and hunted down this area. Again, I grew up in Verona and graduated Verona High School, went to college, worked for a CPA firm, an international CPA firm doing audits of nonprofit, governmental, and other organizations. Then I went back to law school, and when I did so, I moved back home with mom and dad in Millville. And that was in 1985. And I attended and graduated from Rutgers Law School in Camden. After that, I went down to Washington for a stint, and I had an opportunity to work as an attorney advisor for a federal judge in Washington and earned a graduate law degree at Georgetown University Law Center. I came back, I practiced law for a bit in northern New Jersey and Somerset County, and then the needs of the business called me here. My father and my family acquired the business in the mid-'80s, but if people remember back to around 1990, it was a very difficult recession, not all that different than we're experiencing now. At the time, interest rates were high, we were experiencing high inflation, economy was down, and my father, frankly, was ill. So I took the opportunity and thought long and hard about it, made the move down here. I'm very, very happy I did. It's been the greatest experience ever, being in Cumberland County. The people here, the business opportunities, and the opportunity to serve. I am married for 22 years to Pam. We reside in Bridgeton. I have 3 sons, Jeffrey, Christopher, and Eric. Jeffrey is a freshman at Rutgers Pre-Med. Christopher is autistic, and my wife is a certified special ed teacher and homeschools him. And my youngest, Eric, is an honor student at Cumberland Christian School, and just a great kid, great basketball player, and I love him like you wouldn't believe. So I have a fabulous family, fabulous business, and I've also had a chance and been given the opportunity to engage in non-political public service. And what I mean by that is on the Southern New Jersey Council of the Boy Scouts of America. I'm a founder of Boy Scout Troop 41 in Bridgeton, New Jersey. Active in my church and have been for some time.